Hello, everyone. Welcome to our event. We are having a presentation about Teach for America Hawaii and National today, and I will be starting with a land acknowledgement. I would like to acknowledge that I am a settler on this Aina, working and studying at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, located in the Ahupua'a of Waikiki, the Moku of Kona, and the Pai'aina of Hawaii. I trace my family to Seoul, Korea. I would like to acknowledge that the Aina on which we would be gathering if we were in person is part of a larger territory recognized by Indigenous Hawaiians as their ancestral grandmother, Papahanaumoku. I recognize that Her Majesty Queen Liliuokalani yielded the Hawaiian Kingdom and these territories under duress and protest to the United States to avoid the bloodshed of her people. I further recognize that Hawaii remains an illegally occupied state of America. I recognize that each moment I am in Hawaii, she nourishes and gives me with the opportunity to breathe her air, eat from her soils, drink from her waters, bathe in her sun, swim in her oceans, be kissed by her rains, and be embraced by her winds. I further recognize that generations of Indigenous Hawaiians and their knowledge systems shaped Hawaii in sustainable ways that allows me to enjoy these gifts today. For this, I am grateful, and as a guest, I seek to support the varied strategies that the Indigenous peoples of Hawaii are using to protect their land and their communities, and I commit to dedicating time and resources to working in solidarity. Mahalo. Okay, so hello everyone, welcome again. My name is Susanna Kondikati, and I am currently an intern with the American Association of University Women, or AAUW, which is a national program. And we are part of the Honolulu branch, in addition to being an RIO here on campus. AAUW's mission is to create a more equitable society by providing the tools necessary for women to gain economic security, pursue their education, and to advocate for women's rights. We focus on women's issues, but our RIO is open to everyone. Today's presentation will cover what Teach for America stands for, both on a national and local level, how they are working towards equity in education, and what it's like to join the core, including the benefits of being a member. So I am extremely grateful to have our speaker here today, Haley Churchill. She is currently a junior at UH Manoa and pursuing a degree in psychology. She's also the campus ambassador for Teach for America Hawaii, and as campus ambassador at UHM, shares about opportunities offered by Teach for America Hawaii for students who are interested in educational equality and making a difference in locally underserved schools. Haley's experiences growing up in Hawaii and going through the public school system has motivated her to seek out a career in which she can make a difference in the lives of students here in Hawaii. She found that Teach for America Hawaii was one of the ways she could pursue this goal. So welcome, Haley. Thank you so much for being here. Please take it away.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the land acknowledgement. Your graphics were really nice, by the way. So I'm going to share my screen. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shout them out or drop them in the chat. I know I can be a little forgetful during presentations, and I like to just get them in the chat so I don't forget them later on. Okay. So Teach for America is a program in which you can get your teaching certificate through our accredited 2-year program where you get to work in an underprivileged, underserved school district here in Hawaii. Teach for America is a national organization, and Teach for America Hawaii is the local branch of it. So we really believe in working with the brightest minds that exist in all schools here in Hawaii and giving post-bachelor students a chance to step into the classroom and make a difference. So as mentioned, my name is Haley Churchill and I'm a campus ambassador for Teach for America, born and raised here on island, and my experiences going through the public school system here has made me really appreciate the work that our teachers do and also understand that there are a lot of improvements in certain areas that can be made. And that's something that I personally want to be a part of. And I hope that some of you will find it intriguing and want to be a part of it as well. So our mission at Teach for America is that one day, all students in this nation will have opportunity to obtain excellent education, regardless of their race, gender, socioeconomic status, or location. I want to take a moment to look at the issue as it stands now. In Kalani, which is on the east side of the island, we have very high median household, Kalani School District, the high school here. We have very high median household income, 124,000, and a largely Asian and white population. And if we look at Kalani High School's graduation, post-graduation enrollment in secondary institutions, we have 80%, which is really great. That means a lot of these students are going to college and furthering their education. And when we look at Waianae, we have a far lower median household income and a largely Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander population. And looking at the same enrollment in post-secondary institutions after their graduation, only 28% are going on to a post-secondary institution. So as you can see, there is a correlation between socioeconomic status, race, and success in education. There's also far more opportunities for college prep at Kalani, including 16 offered AP credits compared to Waianae High School, which has 3 classes that are AP. So there are definitely differences in resources that are available to these different schools and the outcomes that these students reach. So how does Teach for America look at this problem and aim to create a more balanced education system? Well, our first step is finding promising leaders through outreach such as this and finding people who are really committed to helping those who are in low-income communities and underfunded school districts. We then support these leaders so that they are more able to make an impact. This is through our corps program, where we support you in your first 2 years and help you get your teaching certificate through our classes and our corps program, allowing for the support of other people who are going through the same thing as you. We then develop systems to change leaders. We give you tools not just to be a successful teacher, but to be a successful fighter for equity. We foster collective leadership. After your 2-year commitment with the corp, we don't just leave you be. You get to join our alumni network and continue to see how others continue to fight for equity and give you support when needed. So, as stated, Teach for America is a national level organization, and Teach for America Hawaii is local. So we're nationally connected, which gives you a lot of opportunities, but we're also locally rooted and staying connected to Hawaii and the values that are held here. Since 2006, Teach for America has worked alongside Hawaii communities, recruiting and developing over 1,000 leaders and impacting 95 schools. So how does this play into you guys and what you want to be doing with your future? Well, we really want change makers like you who will come to talks like these to learn about these programs and how to make a difference. We are looking for people who have a deep belief in the potential of all kids and are committed to doing whatever it takes to expand opportunities for students often with a perspective informed by meaningful experience, partnering with communities impacted by systemic racism and poverty. We also want people who demonstrate the ability to create meaningful change, meaning they're able to initiate, lead, and achieve purpose-driven results in a variety of settings, including guiding others, academic success, and extracurricular impact. Having a strong commitment to learning, having a desire to improve, not just the learning of your students, but also your own personal development and professional development, and understanding that knowledge can come from many different sources and being open to these different perspectives. This goes along with the ability to work in partnership with others, to work effectively with people who come from a variety of backgrounds and might have different perspectives than your own. On the more technical side, you will need a bachelor's degree by the first day of training. Our training is during the summer after graduation, so should be all good. We also require that you are either a US citizen or are a permanent resident. If this is not your situation, there are other Teach for All programs. Teach for All is like the greater umbrella that Teach for America is under that exists in other countries. We also require a 2.5 GPA minimum in order to apply. Looking more specifically at Hawaii and what Teach for America Hawaii is looking for, we want people who embody our regional values of kuleana, ohana, and aloha, as well as our national values of choosing courage and acting with humility. We want to be very conscious of acknowledging the current teachers that exist in Hawaii's education system and the knowledge that they hold, while still looking to make improvements of our own. We also want people who have deep ties to Hawaii and partners with orientations towards allyship. We want people that understand Hawaii's history and the context and culture of the relationship between Hawaii and the United States, particularly the relationship in relation to education and the history of missionaries that have come here in the past in order to educate the Hawaiian people, and understanding that that is not necessarily what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a space for all people and acknowledging the knowledge that the ancestral knowledge that comes from Hawaii. So I think it's hopefully been shown that Teach for America is a great way to step into the classroom and really make a difference, working to create equity and a safe place for all students. So let's take a moment to look at what you will get out of it, numbers wise, benefits wise, because that's a really important part of your decisions when you're looking at careers and post-graduation opportunities. So by joining, you'll get a full teacher salary with full benefits, which is really nice, straight out of graduation. And after your first year, you will achieve your teaching certification. And once you get your teaching certification, your salary should increase. We have loan forbearance and the AmeriCorp Education Award. So as an AmeriCorp member, you are eligible to receive federal funding to help pay off your student loans and cover some of the costs incurred while earning your teaching certificate. Teach for America also provides all incoming corps members with a $5,000 stipend to be used as a transitional funding. So even if you're from Hawaii and you just got to move out to Aiʻeo or Waianae, you still get that stipend money. There's also a $10,000 baseline transitional stipend for those of you who have received a Pell Grant at any point in college or were eligible to, or received DACA. Our corps also provides ongoing training and development for you both in your 2 years and once you join our alumni network. Speaking of, our network of leaders have over 500 people here in Hawaii and 64,000 nationwide. So that's a great support system that you're able to rely on and tap into. So briefly looking at what our program will look like. You have the initial application, which you can get to on our website, really simple. And then we follow it up with a virtual interview. Once accepted into the program, we will also guide you through the protocol of interviewing with principals of our partner schools so that we can match you with the school that's right for you and that's right for them. It is a 2-year commitment and you will be placed in one of our partner schools. We currently have schools on Oahu and Hawaiʻi Island. Unfortunately, we do not have partner schools on other islands, but that is an area that we're looking at for future development. Following your 2-year commitment, you'll become part of Teach for America's Network for Life. So this gives you access to many continuing opportunities, including leadership development, alumni and teacher professional development, and education and policy advocacy. So 98% of our first and second year teachers are consistently rated as effective and distinguished. This shows that our training programs are effective and that our teachers are really motivated to create great classroom environments. 80% of our corps members feel part of the community and that they're helping to create a collective impact. Since the start of Teach for America here in Hawaii, we have significantly increased our Kanaka Maoli and Kama'aina leaders, which is something that we're looking to continue to do so that we can stay more connected with Hawaii and its values, as well as provide students in these underserved districts who tend to be Pacific Islander or Hawaiian, to provide them with mentors that have many of the same experiences as them and perhaps they can connect to. So during our program, our 2 years, you'll have a home team cohort of other people who are going through the same thing as you and go through your classes with each other. We provide one-on-one coaching year long, as well as courses and advising. We have fellowships during the summer and place-based experiences to help us stay connected to the Aina, and content learning sessions monthly to help you continue to develop your teaching and curriculum. One of the great things about this program is that it's a 2-year commitment to teaching, but after that, there's no requirement that you continue to be a teacher or an educator. Many of our alumni actually go into different fields, but continue to fight for equity. Many of them start businesses or nonprofits, I should say. We even have some who become medical students. So there's a lot of different things you can do after our program, but you still get this alumni network that helps to support you. Yeah, so we have school leaders, people in education and other departments, civic leaders, and nonprofit leaders. One specific example that I wanted to take a second to look at is David Miyashiro. He is the executive director of Hawaii Kids Can, which continues to fight for education equity in Hawaii. He is a proud 4th generation Hawaii resident who has resided in Windward. After graduating from Brandeis University in Massachusetts, he returned to Hawaii to teach special education language arts at Wahiawa Middle School through Teach for America Hawaii. He also earned his master's degree in special education from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Many of the people who go through our program continue to do their classes after getting their teaching certificate in their first year and get a master's in education. So that's definitely a path you can also take. During his time, he felt very frustrated about the infamous Furlough Fridays. If you guys remember that back in the day, where budget constraints closed public schools for 17 Fridays, reducing instructional time for what was already the shortest school year in the country. This experience inspired him to pursue a master's in education policy at Harvard Graduate School of Education. He worked in politics and government as press secretary for U.S. Senator Mazie Hirono in Washington and communications director at Annapolis for a Congress campaign in Illinois. He's returned to Hawaii and for Teach for America in 2015 to manage communications, media, and public relations for the region and provide support for executive directors. So at Hawaii Kids Can, he continues to fight for equity looking at things like providing grant money for students so that they can get tutors for those parents who cannot afford to provide private tutors on their own, and as well as making it more accessible for students to acquire credits in more non-traditional formats. So a quote that from him that I found really inspiring is, "I've never wavered in my belief that the impossible is achievable when committed people work together." And I personally really believe that Teach for America is a group of committed people working together to do something that many people consider to be impossible, creating equity across socioeconomic, race, and gender barriers. So if this is something you're interested in, our next application deadline for seniors is February 21st, 2023. If you're a junior, you're also able to apply early for that same deadline, or wait till next year, feel out your options. Yeah. We also, if you're like, I'm ready, I want to jump in and start making a difference already, we have the Ignite Fellowship, which takes undergraduate students, and you get to do tutoring online with students in high schools, 5 hours a week for 13 weeks, fall and spring semester, virtual, during school hours, and you work with one of our Teach for America members who helps you through the process. So you lead tutoring sessions, you receive coaching, and you get the chance to really connect with students. We provide professional training. It helps you gain transferable skills and really create an impact. It's also a great opportunity if you're like semi-interested in Teach for America and you kind of want to see what we're more about, to kind of put your foot in the door and take a look. Yeah, so I have a QR code to a Google form where you can just let us know if you're at all interested in learning more about talking with someone who's been through the corp program, who's an alumni. That's how I got into it. I got to talk with an alumni, Lindsay, and we had like an hour-long conversation just about the issues that we saw in education and the ways that it could be changed. And I felt like that was one of the first times I felt like I connected with someone who had those same wants to create a difference and the same views. And yeah, so if that's something you're interested, or you just want to get an email about how to apply, we can do that too. We have our Instagram. We have corps members that do like a day in my life. They'll take you through them waking up really early, getting to campus and talking with their students and everything. And it's a good way to kind of see what it's like through someone else's eyes. Yeah, that is all I have for now. If you guys have any questions at all, let me know. Thank you for listening.
Awesome, thank you, Haley. So yeah, just like Haley said, we did want to give time for Q&A. So if you have any questions that you want to ask Haley, please feel free to do that. You can, I think we're a small enough group, you can kind of just, yeah, start talking. But I will start us off with a question, as others are maybe thinking through their own. I actually have a couple of questions, and then I'll get to you, Leanne. You get the next question. So would you say that this is a good kind of in-between stage if you're considering teaching, but you don't want to like go completely into getting a teaching credential? And connected to that, how does the teaching credential of Teach for America, I guess, kind of compare or stack up against someone who has gone through like school, like the university system, become a teacher at a local school in Hawaii?
Yeah, thank you. Those are great questions. I believe that this is a great in-between step. It's definitely for people who are motivated to be working hard and fighting for equity. But as I said, a lot of our alumni end up going into different fields, but they take that those core values with them. So a lot of the people who go through our program go on to get their master's in education. Others, like we have one that's going into medical school. So yeah, it's a really great post-bachelor opportunity, because personally, I'm a psych major. Sophomore year, junior year, I realized that, like, education is really what I want to do, but I also don't want to switch majors, because I really find what I'm learning now to be very important and educational in general. And also, I think there's a lot of applications to psychology in education. So that's one of the strengths of Teach for America. We get a lot of different people who have strong backgrounds in other areas that aren't necessarily education. We have psychology majors, math majors, we take all majors. So it's a great range, and you get this more in-depth understanding of specific subjects that can be shared with students when you're a teacher. So that's one of the strengths. We also get education majors. Nothing wrong with that. It is different than the traditional route. The first year where you get your teaching certificate, it's very intensive, because you're teaching full-time as well as doing classes on the side in order to get your credentials in order. So it's not a laid-back path, I'll be honest. But those of you who are really motivated to do it, it can be a very immersive experience to learn on your feet, really. But at the end of the day, the teaching certificate that you get is the same that the people who went through the traditional path get. And Teach for America has a good reputation, so it's not like a lesser certification in any sense.
Leanne?
Thank you for your presentation. Very interesting. I come from a family of educators. All my sisters both teach in the public schools, and I have a cousin as well. So the part of the teaching curriculum involves student teaching, which you go into the classroom and you get to shadow a seasoned teacher. Is that something that is built into the training, or are you just like thrown into a classroom and have to swim on the first day?
Because it occurs during the summer and there's normally summer school going on, I believe it's been a second since I've looked at it in detail, but you do get a chance to teach before you teach your own class. But it is definitely a faster transition than going through the undergrad program and getting like a full semester of teaching in a classroom before you teach your own kids.
So you mentioned also that, all different backgrounds can apply and be placed in classrooms. Does that mean that you place in elementary up through high school, or is it just in the upper grade levels?
Elementary through high school, yes. We don't have elementary through high school in every single region, but we do have the range there, yes. And
do they get a choice?
Yes, you do get a choice. That's what's great. You get to pick like your top 3, you rank them. And then there is some, like I said, you interview with the principal, and it depends on what vacancies they have available. So if like you really want to teach math and they're like, we're good on math, we got all our math teachers, you then go on to your second choice and we try to fit you there. So need to be a little bit flexible, but your wants and needs are definitely taken into account.
I do have a second question. So if I understood correctly, it's a 1-year program where you are teaching and then you get your teaching certificate at the same time?
So it's going to be a 2-year program. The first year you get your teaching certificate. By the end of the first year, you get your teaching certificate. And then the second year is basically you just teaching.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And can you teach beyond that second year with Teach for America, or you have to move on? Is it kind of just a set program and then you need to like apply for jobs on your own?
you can continue to teach in your position as long as the availability in the school is still there and you want to stay there. Not all of our teachers want to stay in the school that they were placed in, but you are able to, yes. Many of our members do continue to be educators and work with their people there. It's a great way to build connections, yeah.
Awesome. So the salary, it comes from that there needs to actually be like an opening in that school for a teacher. But it's just that you enter into that space through Teach for America. So the money, your salary money is actually coming from the state.
Yes.
Okay, and then the stipend, that's from Teach from America. Like
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we partner with the schools. You're placed in a school, and then you get teacher salary from them, full benefits, which is really nice. Yeah. And many of these schools, like, they have a lot of vacancies, and that's why Teach for America is able to place our corps members there. And most of the time, they're happy to have members that continue to stay. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have another question. If you have a student who is going to UH from out of state, but they want to teach in the Hawaii public school system, they're welcome to apply in for a position.
Yes. Currently, right now, the majority of our applicants actually come from out of state, either UH out of state students, or the applications open nationally. So we get people who want to come to Hawaii. So yes, that's definitely an option.
So the reverse is true too. If you have a student who wants to teach in another state, you'll help hook the student up with that resource as well.
Yes, yeah. So if you don't want to teach here, that's fine. Teach for America has, I think they have in like 49 states. One state doesn't have, but yes, there's plenty of opportunities to go to the mainland and teach there. You wouldn't be with Teach for America Hawaii, but you would be with Teach for America.
Okay, I do have another question that came in through our Google form sign up submission. And it was, are there opportunities for international students of education who would like to serve in school systems of the US?
Yeah, so there it gets a little bit tricky because our requirement is that you're either a United States citizen or a permanent resident. So a student visa is not going to work for this situation, unfortunately. It's just the way that Teach for America is funded. We're not able to do that. But if you're a permanent resident, we can work with that. And if that's not your situation, Teach for America is under like the umbrella of Teach for All, which has like Teach for America, Teach for Spain, Teach for Uganda. So like you could look into those other programs, and I'm not sure what their requirements are about citizenship, but maybe from your country of origin.
Okay, any last questions for Haley? All right, thank you again so much, Haley, for your time and for this presentation and for sharing really, really important stuff that we're dealing with and we're talking about. And I really hope that people can be motivated and inspired to teach those who just don't have as much resources as some of us. So thank you everyone for joining us today. I will be sharing details after this presentation, Haley's details, some details from our office, some details from our and also how to access the recording. So thank you again so much and have a great day.